I'm Doug Lieb of AJC, and I'm joined by Executive Director David Harris to discuss recent events surrounding Turkey and its role in the Middle East. David, your open letter to Prime Minister Erdogan in your Jerusalem Post blog has received a lot of international attention. What did you say?
I was very concerned by the actions of Prime Minister Erdogan of Turkey since Israel began its military operation in Gaza. I felt that his comments were incendiary. I thought they were not befitting a traditional ally of the State of Israel, and I think they didn't reflect the facts on the ground. It really came to a head for me when he spoke at the World Economic Forum on the same panel with Israeli President Shimon Peres. And he walked out. And I thought a friend, and we are friends of Turkey, needed to try and reach the Prime Minister and those around him and help him to understand why we were so anguished, why we were so disturbed, why we were so surprised by the posture that he has taken in recent weeks.
Historically, there's been an excellent relationship between Israel and Turkey, and that has been actively supported by American Jewish organizations, including AJC. Do you see that relationship remaining strong?
I certainly hope so. The relationship between Turkey and Israel is a very important one for both countries, and it's really an anchor of both stability, security, and democracy in the Middle East. After all, these are the only two bona fide democratic nations in that part of the world. As far as American Jews are concerned, yes, we have been a strong part of that relationship as well. We've understood Turkey's strategic role, the importance of its friendship with Israel, the importance of its commitment to democracy. We want that to continue. But at the same time, I need to be honest. Recent weeks have raised questions, and that's why I wrote this Jerusalem Post blog as a kind of cri de coeur from a friend to the Prime Minister, in a sense asking him to take a step back, to reevaluate the relationship and to understand what's at stake here.
Speaking of that relationship, could you give us some examples of how we've shown friendship to Turkey?
When Turkey has had issues in Washington, it's often turned to American Jewish groups, including AJC, to ask for help. They argue that they don't have much of a Turkish diaspora in the United States, and their natural partner is American Jewry, which understands them and which appreciates the role that Turkey has played traditionally in the Middle East and as haven to Jews. So we've been there very often. In 1999, when a devastating earthquake hit part of Turkey, AJC was among the very first to respond. We partnered, in fact, with the Israeli government. They quickly built a prefabricated village in a town called Adapazari. We contributed to the school. Some 400 children attend that school as a result of our work. So we've tried to be there. I don't say this to pat ourselves on the back. We did this out of genuine conviction. But it's to illustrate the fact that this has been a very close and mutually beneficial relationship over many years.
What's objectionable about the Turkish position?
What Turkey was saying to Israel was not what Turkey was doing itself. In effect, it was a kind of policy of do as I say, but not as I do. Turkey's national security interests have been endangered in the eyes of Turks over the years. Turkey did not hesitate to send its armed forces to the northern part of Cyprus to occupy that part of Cyprus from 1974 until today. Despite the fact that the international community opposed the Turkish action, Turkey felt it was in its own interests. Similarly, on terrorism issues, we're concerned about Hamas and the attempt to legitimize a terrorist group, Hamas, in the international community. Well, Turkey faces another terrorist group called the PKK, and Turkey has made every effort to try and prevent the international community from recognizing and legitimizing the PKK, because from Turkey's point of view, it's a murderous terrorist group. And when they threaten Turkey, Turkey has not hesitated to respond, even crossing borders. Turkey has taken matters into its own hands when it believed its national security to be jeopardized. Israel faces the same kinds of challenges, and I would argue that if any country on the face of the earth should understand Israel's challenges with Hamas in Gaza and the continuous barrage of mortar and missile attacks, frankly speaking, it should be its friend Turkey.